Hey everyone, welcome to another tutorial from Horizon Studio. This is Kamyar Fatemi Far. In previous videos, we learned about basics of polygon modeling in 3D Studio Max and optimizing meshes. In this video, we're going to work on unwrapping 3D model of the mug that we selected for the purpose. So let's jump right in. As you can see, I have my 3D model ready and optimized for unwrapping. I'll use a software called Rizom UV for unwrapping this model. It's an absolutely great software and I suggest you use it. And there is another script which you can install on 3ds Max by clicking and dragging this file that I will upload and share its link in the description. You will have this button here which enables you to send 3D meshes directly from 3ds Max into Rizom UV. By selecting this mesh and clicking on this button here, I'll switch to a new unwrapping because I don't want to edit it. I just want to create a new unwrapping for this mug, and clicking on this button, it will automatically send my model into Rizom UV. By clicking on the 3D viewport and pressing F, I can have my model. There are options: F4 selects island, F3 for faces, F2 for edges, and F1 for vertices. I'll switch to edges and select these to cut them for unwrapping. You can press C for creating a seam. The best places for creating seams are the ones that either we have a change of material or the places that aren't so much visible. For example, it's best to use this edge for cutting 3D model horizontally, because by using this one, everyone will see the seam after visualization, but this one is a little less visible. So I will select this one and press C to create a cut. I will select this edge loop here, create another cut. I can remove this one by double clicking and pressing W to weld it. You can also use Shift for selecting the continuity of edges like this. I can hold down the Shift button and here is my seam. In order to isolate the handle, I can press F4, select the island and click on the isolate button here, selecting these edge loops for cutting. In order to show everything, I can click on this button here. There is the hotkey Y for unhiding everything and I for isolating the selection. I also need another cut here. I'll press F4, select every island by pressing Ctrl A, and by pressing U, I'll have my unwrapped islands here. I can press U or click on this button here. I can optimize these to remove the stretches by pressing this button here or pressing O on my keyboard. You can increase the optimization iterations. Currently it is on automatic mode. You can do this by increasing this number. By clicking P on your keyboard or selecting this button here, you'll have your UV packed. This face here is stretched because I have forgotten to add this seam here. So I'll do another unwrapping, optimization and packing, UOP. To set the distance between these islands, I can change the margin and padding. Remember, we'll talk about map resolution later. It is based on the size of our mesh, and it is always a power of 2. 32 is okay for this. It is a small object, so I want to have at least 1 pixel of padding while my map resolution is 32 by 32. 1 pixel of margin and 1 pixel of padding. So I'll pack it For the purpose of visualization and baking, it's better to create another UV channel. Channel can be created here. I'll switch to the second channel by double clicking on it, and by selecting the first channel and pressing copy, I can have my first channel copied into my second channel. The margin and padding is very much important for the second UV channel. The first UV channel can have higher map resolutions like 128. That would be fine to have the margins set by 1 here in the first channel, packing the texture again, but in the second channel keep it on 32. Press P and save your model. As you can see, there are two Rizom UV modifiers here. It indicates that our model currently has unwrapping in 2 channels. In order to check that in 3D Studio Max, we can select Unwrap UVW. You can also open UV Editor. Here is on Unwrap in the first and in the second channel. Some few steps to finalize our model. First, we have to position the pivot point. I'll switch to front view. The best position for a pivot point would be where you want to place your object on other objects. I can modify the pivot point by clicking on hierarchy, selecting effect pivot only, and tiny bit lower on y-axis here in the front view. This is for creating better shadows in the visualization. I'll move it back to the center point. In order to add material IDs to my model, clicking on a central vertex, holding Control and switching to polygon, growing my selection. Remember, it has to be exactly on the edge that I have selected as my seam in my unwrapping. I'll change the ID into 2. Press Ctrl I to invert the selection, change the ID into 1. I'll change this part's ID into 3, which is the handle. I'll quickly create some standard materials to check the IDs. Scanline standard is always there. Create 3 copies by clicking and dragging. Double click, change the ambient color, create a multi-sub-object material, change the number into 3, connect these handles, and assign the material to the object. To make sure that this edge is right, I'll check the unwrapping another time. Yeah, I've missed some segments here, so I will add these by holding Shift. Okay, add a smooth modifier to your model to check it for artifacts. Click on Auto Smooth, convert it to another editable poly. Reset Xform here for fixing the scale issues. Convert it to editable poly. Change its name to static mesh SM underline mog underline 1. You can also change the names of your materials by selecting them and changing into M underline mog underline 01 underline exterior. I'll copy this. Here I'll change it into interior handle. This one is ready for texturing and shader production in visualization software. Thank you for watching this video. You can ask your questions in the comments section. Please like and share this one if you find it helpful. Subscribe to our channel to have quick access to our future videos. Have a great day.